Hello, hello, hello. Good to see you all today here with eluukkanen. Indeed, good to see you all. We are live. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to eluukkanen composing stream of the century. Indeed, today's composing stream is going to be about. We are going to make some original music today, but inspired. And yes, inspired by franchise over there called He-Man, Masters of the Universe. Yes, indeed. Today we're going to be making music inspired from it.
Jorge Workman.
Hello, Jorge Workman. You are very much first
Jorge
here. Are you
Workman.
familiar with He-Man? Indeed. Today we're going to be making music, inspired of it. We are not going to recreate He-Man music. We are not going to, make any kind of infringement of any copyrights. We are actually going to make
Dude.
of course, on notification
Finally.
and follow.
Only
Hey,
the
only
repair
repair,
dude.
very good. We have some early
Cosine
people
on
already in here,
notification and
very
follow.
good. As we said, we're going to be making music inspired by He-Man,
Jorge
style
Workman.
of He-Man. Indeed, we are not going to
I
make
am.
He-Man music, but copying it just directly. But we're going to be making a very, same type of style of the music. That's how we're going to do it. Alright, Workman, and you are familiar with the He-Man. Oh, very good. Have you heard of the theme song, which of course, Masters of the Universe. That is the theme song. Unfortunately, here on the stream, we are not able to actually. That's the problem. We cannot actually play it, otherwise we'll get taken down just immediately, and we don't want to do that. So I'm just going to be copying you a link, and you can actually listen the theme yourself right now. That is the link on the screen. It should be on even comment section and such. Go and listen it. That is the theme we're going to be taking
Jorge
inspiration
Workman.
from. I don't
I
believe,
don't believe so.
Oh, you don't believe so? Well, take a listen of it. I think it's actually a pretty lovely little theme, made in 80s, imagine 80s. I personally, I've not been alive when 80s was a thing, but I've heard this theme afterwards, and I tell you, it's quite a catchy one, and we're going to be, taking inspiration from it, how it works, and we're going to be actually making it happen, indeed. And He-Man people here, they're going to hopefully enjoy this stream as well, because I tell you, this is going to be quite different from the normal composing streaming sessions. And I tell you, I'm going to be using this theme that I'm going to be making inspiration from, of course, original piece, quite original. I'm going to be making it based on, of course, the He-Man stuff. We're going to be making it in a game that we are creating, and it's going to be theme for the warrior, indeed. Theme for the warrior character of my game I'm currently creating, indeed. So the thing is, in eluukkanen's game, what I'm currently creating, as you might have known, the game I'm making, Final Fantasy called, I'm currently making the, player classes, and depending on the player class, you get a different music theme. For your character, and one of the classes is a warrior, this sort of like a very muscular and fighting type of person, warrior indeed. And I want to make very similarly, stylized, of course not the original copying it. I'm going to be making it similar theme with the style of the He-Man song, indeed. Unfortunately, we cannot listen it because otherwise we will take him down, to the rabbit hole, and you don't want to see that happen. So yes, go listen to the theme. I just sent a link, and that's going to be done here. Hopefully going to enjoy the stream as we are going to do it, indeed. Let me know, are you familiar with the life of that show? Have you actually watched the show yourself? Let me know. Indeed. Now let me put some information here, as it is He-Man stream, indeed. I'm a composer myself, if you don't know, and I do compositions, I do remastering of stuff, indeed. And today we're not going to remaster, but we're going to be still making something quite lovely to He-Man itself, indeed. Indeed, inspired by the He-Man. He-Man is this show made in 80s.
Jorge Workman.
I've seen clips, but haven't
I've
watched the
seen
show.
clips, but I haven't watched the show.
It was this show, made originally, of course, in 80s, to sell toys. That's what these shows were originally for. But I tell you, He-Man, Master of the Universe, it still kind of is capturing with the people who enjoyed it back in the day. Many old folks know it. And if you want to be friends of the people of 80s, knowing about this show. It might be just like, hey, I know that show, and it's like they're going to be actually respecting you. I don't know, if that's really true or not, but many people in 80s, they have watched this show, enjoyed it, and that's what we're going to be looking at in today's composing stream by eluukkanen. Indeed, composing stream. And yes, original song every Friday. We do stream every week. So very much I recommend even following because of that. We do all sorts of stuff. We actually drew a turtle last week. Did you see it, Hooray Workman? Oh, actually last day. He. Indeed, says Hooray Workman. I tell you, He-Man is very he indeed. This sort of 80s figure is like, just aggressive, going around. Indeed. He, indeed. Let me still put some information, and then we are ready to begin our adventure here in the He-Man land. 80s music is quite something, I tell you.
Ollie the Repair Dude.
Hey, Hooray Workman. Indeed. How has you been doing, Ollie the Repair Dude? Have you any plans on today? I tell you, it's a very pleasure to see you here, and yesterday as well, indeed.
Hooray Workman.
Hi, says Hooray Workman, indeed. And I tell you, it's a very pleasure to have you here. Hopefully you're going to enjoy the theme. It's not going to be the original. I'm going to be still saying it. I have to say this out loud, because at some point I'm going to be releasing the game. And the thing is, this is an original theme, but it takes the style inspired by this. So it's not directly a He-Man theme. I have to say this because otherwise, all those lawyers are going to just like, attack me directly. Why are you doing that sort of stuff? What are you doing? But I tell you, it's an inspiration piece. It's a kind of very much honoring the original franchise that it had. He-Man was quite something. It's still quite popular. It is even released nowadays. In some form or another. So it is a big thing. Yes, the he, indeed. Now let me still share this in one place, and then we are ready to begin and see how the He-Man people are going to enjoy this. We shall see. Have you listened to the song? Had a church Zoom service later.
Just now had Gigai Huddle, which is an
event for my mobile service provider.
I am a super of.
What is that thing? Please let me know. But of course, people have now these sort of services in Zoom and such, I tell you. And all this sort of stuff. Yes. I tell you, this is understood that, we're going to be, our current times, people have these sort of meetings online and such. That's why I think the streaming is a kind of way to us people to kind of meet in a sense in many places. Gladly in Finland we have still kind of opened, but in other places it has not yet. Yes. I tell you, very simple indeed. Here we're going to be having this stream. I'm going to be still sharing this in a few places, and then we're going to begin. I'm going to be putting notes here in the Sibelius program. As you can see, I'm used composition program called Sibelius. I've often used that. You might be familiar.
Ollie the Repair Dude.
I tell you.
The event is games, presentation, and lucky draw.
Oh, that's very lovely. All right. I will. I tell you, very good that there is this sort of, events, people having fun and such. This is what we need. There needs to be thing like this happening, I tell you, because the thing is, Ollie Repair Dude, some places people are still kind of locked down, and I tell you, it's good to have, these social things between people. People are, having stuff between each other, helping each other out, and that sort of way, indeed. Let me know how you have been doing yourself under this current situation. Hooray Workman, have you been playing games and such? Let me know, but I will still put some information here, and then we are ready to begin our adventure going forward. Indeed. Let us see how this turns out to be. But yes, as I said, I cannot show you the original theme on the stream, otherwise I get, taken to Gulag.
For the mobile service and the Superfor program.
Oh, very
I can
good.
earn gigabucks to offset my plan cost.
Gigabucks, what's that? Well, that sounds at least interesting. Yes, very interesting.
Ollie the Repair Dude.
Next week will be streaming.
Gigabucks to
Oh, you are
offset
preparing
my
some
cost.
streaming sense. Oh, very good,
Workman.
very good. That's what we need to have. That's what people need
Ollie
to
the
do.
Repair Dude.
Indeed.
Next week will be streamed 3 days in a
Hey,
row.
that is quite something. We don't have that sort of thing in Finland, personally. There have been, church sermons happening in, like live streaming format, but I've not seen, perhaps some concerts and such, but people are still kind of getting used to this whole thing in that sort of sense. But, that's how things go over here. Well, we have already some people watching. Hopefully you're enjoying your time here watching, but of course we are still in a beginning sense. We are not yet begun, because of course I need to be sharing this. Otherwise, the gods of this universe are just like, of course, algorithm and such. But I tell you, I need to, I tell you, I want to make this as honorable for the He-Man franchise. This is going to be, of course, original piece, as I said, but very much feels like He-Man, seems like He-Man, in some aspects, of course, being as a unique creation. That's what it has to be, because stealing is not good. You cannot steal when you do stuff. I very much am against stealing, and we're going to be putting some effort on
and
this.
I am going to release a new design for merch.
Very
And
good.
the design topic is the next week panel discussion
So
stream.
very good that you work on this sort of graphical stuff on your stuff. Indeed, very good. Keep up the work. Next week
Yes,
release.
I have been playing a lot of Fortnite. I'm level 146.
Well, you are high in the levels, I tell you,
Only
workman. I
repaired
tell you, I personally have
Next
been,
week
have to say,
release.
I'm not. Only level 15, and that's quite bad. And I use still default skins. Default skins for the win, that's what they say. That's what they say. Now let me still share in the group we have, which is called eluukkanen group, which is this sort of group of people being together, helping each other out sort of group. Very lovely. I need to be sharing it a little more in current times. I tell you, it's a lovely community, people helping each other out, being part of each other's artistic lives indeed. And let me still share this whole thing around here. But I tell you, streams. Yes, I tell you, this is going to be quite something. But very good to see you here. We're going to be starting in a minute. Let me still share in one place because I have to. That's just the reality of things. But then after we are ready to begin our adventure, so be ready for that. We're going to be adding some horns. We're going to be adding some vocals. Of course, computer vocals at the beginning. I'm later going to be working perhaps with the singers to put this thing, with the vocals, because that's what you have to do if you want to get good vocals. But still, we're going to be enjoying our times and putting some music together. So let's get this on. Let's start putting this thing forward indeed. Let us begin. So as I said, I sent you a link I'm going to be sending right now again from the original piece, which you can listen, because I tell you I cannot show it on the stream. I tell you, unfortunately, it's a very nasty thing. So there's a comment, check it out, you can listen it, and of course if you want to afterwards check it out, it's just a He-Man theme song. You can check it out. It's actually a pretty lovely one, this sort of action pumped theme. So let us begin the whole creation of it indeed. We shall see how we're going to get some original He-Man people on here, but we shall see. It's always up to luck and such indeed. But hopefully your day is going well. Hopefully you're interested to join the chat about the world and, of course, creation of this unique piece that we're going to be having over here. Very much so. So let's begin. So the idea is that let me put first some tempo. Tempo has to be actually pretty high. I was thinking of minute and 30 seconds of music today, because it's going to be a theme in the video game. It's going to be something that is going to be played often in the video game that I'm creating. It's going to be something like that. So it's good to have very much in this sort of, a short theme. I think short themes work with this sort of attitude, indeed. So let me have We're going to be starting with MIDI instruments, and in case you don't know, MIDI instruments are very bad. They are actually the worst instruments you can find, in terms of, sound quality, but they are still easy when it takes to actually putting some stuff together, especially with the notation in the beginning. So I'm going to be using those at least at first, but of course then later on changing them to something else. As people, hey, here I've watched these streams before, you know how this whole thing works. So let us get that going on. Idea is that as you hear the He-Man song, it's like this very heroic. They had violins and horns. We're going to be actually adding violins and horns in the beginning. I posted the video on
Okay, I
Discord.
have posted the video to the Discord.
Hey, I appreciate it very much so, very much so. If you mean about the video that we're currently making, I very much appreciate it. Any kind of likes, any kind of all that sort of stuff, it helps very much, and I do have to thank you if you decide to do that, because I'm still a small fish on the pond, and it always helps. It gets stuff forward. But now, let us start this whole thing. Idea at least is like do 1, 2, 3, 4
Yes.
So we start with the triplet. Hey, Hooray Workman, I appreciate it very much. I thank you, Hooray Workman. It's a very big thing. Sharing it makes my day go smoothly. I tell you, thank you very much. Hopefully, we shall see what happens. But I thank you very much, Hooray Workman, from the effort. We could, of course, because it helps. Supporting, making streams going forward. This is a participation sport. If you want to be part of this, Hooray Workman, if you have any suggestions for music stuff, that's up to you. It's all up to you. You can interact. It's an interactable stream. So now, we going to be starting actually from this song, this part of the music over here. Very simple instrument, but we're going to be starting it from nonetheless. Do 1, 2, 3, 4. Pa 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 pa. 1, 2, do 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 do. Pa pa pa. Okay, so we're going to be actually doing it like this. So the idea is that this is going to be quite a lovely little song. If you are not familiar, I'm currently making a video game, and that video game is quite special because basically it's all about, this sort of like a open world sandbox RPG adventure. And it's going we shall see how that's going to go. But the thing is, it's this adventure that, usually RPGs are very restrictive. Usually games are very restrictive. Of course, some games are not. You mentioned Fortnite is kind of a free form. You go around places, you can decide what you do. And my game is very much going to be very much like that. You have these different characters that you can interact with the world very openly. Of course, it's an RPG. It has this long, big story. You can actually affect the story in many ways. Even the main villain, there are main villain types in the game, but I think the main villain, you can actually affect on what is going to happen with that, storyline when you go forward with that. But of course, it's up to the people who interact with the game. But now, and then it goes like. So that is the idea of the melody, at least first. We shall see, is it a functional melody? But then we're going to be continuing forward with it. If you listen He-Man's song, it has this sort of like a basic melody. And we're going to be making this sort of He-Man feel for it with this sort of horns, and then of course violins joining it. But we shall see how it goes. Of course, it's still a plan in my head. Yeah, that's actually a problem. And then this is, I think that's at least the plan of mine. How's your day been going? Enjoying your day so far? It's Friday. It's a free day of the world. It's when people get together. So hopefully, depends. Depending on the times, they get together, have some good times and such. That's what happens on Friday, at least for some people. Okay, actually we have to take because this is actually very important. We need to have the click settings right. And let's take it actually on the forefront. The idea is that, this has to be exactly right on the rhythm. Otherwise we cannot, build the song forward, indeed. Indeed! Otherwise it's just some nasty... It's not right. It's like dun 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 dun. 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. It's Let me actually see how this works. Let's see how does it work like that. But yeah, we are currently working on Sibelius. It's a music making program. You can even get it yourself. It's a bit costly, but it works with the music. You can make some good stuff with it, indeed. Very simple horn melody in the beginning here. I think I actually have to take this triplet away. I was originally thinking it's a triplet, but actually it is. It's like, you know, it's not triplet at all. Triplet is a way that actually divide the notes in different sort of time scales, but now this is going to be actually like this instead of the one we're actually doing visually here. As you see, now it's going to be a little bit different. It affects the song a very big way. That's the. Hopefully it's like that. We shall see how it goes. We shall see where it goes. Hello, crystal clear. Welcome to the stream. How is your He-Man adventure going on? How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. We are doing a He-Man inspired music.
Jorge Workman. Aya 2 is the name.
No, actually, it's not like this. Nia 2 is the name. Nia 2, what are you talking about? This is a very much not a Nia 2 stream, indeed. It's very much a He-Man oriented stream, indeed. Hey man, that's what it is. Are you familiar with the He-Man franchise? Of course, Nia 2 is its own thing, indeed. Very different from what you're describing over here. Nia 2 is this sort of Japanese-inspired game.
The crystal clear.
No,
I am now at school.
Now at school.
And
I have
have a lesson
lessons.
soon.
God damn. School always gets on the way, doesn't it? School doesn't. Of course, you have to take care of the school. Just do the school. That you have to do. That's you have to do. It's a pleasure, of course, have you here on the few moments you are in here. I tell you. Okay, actually, we need to be putting even these dots away like this, because this is going to be a very this sort of like heavy theme. We're going to be actually putting the real. Hey, crystal clear, indeed, says Ollie Repair Dude. Hello there. Pleasure to have you all here. We have 4 people watching in the YouTube scale of things, indeed. And well, currently what we're doing is a He-Man inspired theme.
Ollie the Repair
Of course,
Dude.
in very beginnings, but
Welcome.
you know, very close to, you know, the idea. You're going to be seeing it later on, but of course, I cannot directly do the He-Man stuff because, you know, it would be I don't want to do any kind of stealing because that's not who I am. But
Ollie
this is going
the
to be
Repair
in the
Dude.
same style. Yeah, says Ollie Repair Dude. It's good to welcome people over here, indeed.
The crystal clear.
We shall see how this goes. Indeed,
Thank you,
thank you, Ollie. Ollie is a very
Ollie
much
the
a lovely
Repair
channel.
Dude.
He does this sort of streaming
Welcome.
on mobile phone content. You know, building and repairing them. I do recommend checking him out. You know, he has begun his channel just recently, and I think the idea and the basis for it is very good. I think, you know, having a kind of a channel to build mobile phones and such, I do recommend, you know, working on that. You know, getting on that and seeing that effect. Of course,
Jorge
it's in the
Workman.
beginning, but I tell you, very good, very good.
Right pointing backhand index, right left pointing
What are you saying,
backhand
Ray Workman,
index.
with that? What are you saying with that? But I tell you now. It's going to be next. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is it's going to be the idea at least. The thing is, it cannot be the original theme completely, and it's actually very good because you should always do the original stuff. Of course, I do remakes, just kind of on all the old games, you know, and you can do that. You know, remixes and covers. There's actually, you know, depending on the country, of course, there's different laws on it, but you know, you
The
can do
crystal
that
clear.
sort of stuff. This is so
This
good.
is so good.
Oh man, we shall see how it goes. Crystal Gate is very beginning, I tell you, but at least is at least the idea. And then is gonna be the idea where it goes. This is a very major, you know, melody, but it's not yet fully built. You know, you have only melody here and nothing else. We're gonna be actually adding some stuff over
Ollie
here.
the Repair
That's
Dude.
what we do.
Come on.
Come
Only the
on!
repaired youth.
Come on! I became your
fan.
fan. Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. I tell you. What do you mean by come on? I tell you very much. I appreciate you being here, of course. I tell you, we need these sort of different channels, and I like Ollie Repairs, you know, what his style, of course, is in beginning, but I tell you, refining on him, I think it's going to be very lovely indeed. But now, let's continue forward on this sort of stuff. Actually, that's too long. That's too long. But now we are getting forward with our little theme over here. Da, 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 and then da, 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 and then it continues. It's like a cartoon theme, basically. You know, that's at least the idea of it. Pa, 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 and then. The big idea is that you can actually hum this theme. That's at least the what I think it should be important. Pa 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 and then and then it continues again. That's basically the idea. There's also going to be a singing part of it. It's going to be because this is for a video game I'm currently making. It's for a theme for one character type there. And the idea is that there's going to be like this. I'm trying to get the human voice to sing this sort of like a warrior in the sort of in the background. That's at least the idea of it. It's of course an original piece, but of course kind of a reminding of something. Very much when it comes to that. That is the idea. Let's see how this goes. Indeed, let us see how this goes.
Jorge Workman. Ari Marcara. The Crystal Clear. Ollie is an account that repairs phones and I need to
Indeed,
go
that's
back.
what it does. Hey, you have to go, unfortunately. That's a very sad thing. But hey, it's a pleasure to have you here nonetheless. Hopefully we're going to be having you later on after the study stuff and such. We're going to be making this song ready. Like last time we made quite a little process on quite a lovely little process on the turtle. We're going to be doing a lot of process in here. Aye, Makara, what did you say? Bye and thanks. Indeed, I do mean what I say on that. I do mean what I say. I personally, I'm just so bad when it comes to repairing phones. I tell you, I'm more on the music side of things. But now,
Ollie the repaired dude.
Bye.
I repair phones.
I'm very much
built
like
yet BTW.
Ah, I see. Not
Jorge
yet, but perhaps in the
Workman.
future. But it's very lovely that people, say bye and hello to each other. That's what we need. This sort of spirit of people being very lovely to each other. And this again. And then it continues. And then it's. And then we're going to be having a similar part like this, but of course then it's going to change to this sort of middle part, which is of course going to come after the bar 18. Indeed. If you're enjoying the stream so far, if you do, please like the stream. Of course, Hooray Workman shared this around, which I very much appreciate. This is something that can help eluukkanen be a very happy person. Indeed, eluukkanen group, let's go forward. Now, thing is.
RG Bargy.
RG Bargy! Hello there! Say everybody hello to RG Bargy. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. I saw you yesterday, I think.
Jorge Workman. B-A-B-A-B.
Ba 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 ba! Indeed, Hooray Workman. That's the ba 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 ba. Indeed, the horn does ba 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 ba. Hello there, RG Bargy. We're currently making this sort of He-Man inspired music. Of course, it's not completely He-Man, but it's very much, of course, inspiration as original piece. And then we're going to be making it go very much this sort of like. And then it kind of repeats itself like this. Let's see how it goes with the horn. We're currently making music for trumpet. Indeed. Let's listen how a real trumpet sounding instrument could actually work with it. We're actually going to be changing it temporarily for better sounding. Ajibaji, how's your day going? Are you familiar with She-Man? Indeed. Let me know. This sort of 80s cartoon it was. Indeed. Now.
Jorge Workman. I'm playing Fortnite.
I have to actually still think of this part. I don't personally like it too much. You're playing some Fortnite. I tell you, I've tried Fortnite, as you've seen, you know, as you found me, Hooray Workman, and it's a very lovely. If you can watch this whole thing at the same time, or at least listen. This is very much a listening stream. Of course, some visual stuff for the people that know music theory, but for others, I don't know. It depends. Now the thing is, we have here like, and then. Let me actually see. So the original theme kind of goes like like if we think about the there's this sort of like different parts of it. I think in the He-Man theme there's like this sort of like a basic melody, as I've already introduced into this piece, and then this of course this sort of middle thing, and then this sort of like B part, which is like, you know, have this sort of other melody, very like positive in a sense. This is going to be much like a ho, but then the positive melody is like la 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 la. They sort of like very friendly sort of fashion. So that's what we, at least that's the idea what we're going to be doing here. So perhaps I should like do something very special on here. Sort of fashion. I think this actually could work very lovely. And then there's going to be afterwards part. Let me actually listen to this and let's see how this goes forward. Indeed, our adventure goes. We're doing some music on Fridays. If you have any suggestions on how we should improve the piece, it's up to you. We can do it. Let's do it together. Of course, like in the He-Man cartoon, the heroes work together to achieve everything. We can do that in this very thing if you're up to it. Of course, up to you. Up to you. Now, let us go.
Ollie the repair dude. Hey Argy Bargy.
And then happy part. Something like afterwards. We have to actually think of what that could be. We'll say, hey, Arjibaji, indeed. Good to welcome people. Arjibaji, what are your thoughts on the current melody we have for the horn? So it's like. So it's. Just like, then it goes to like a C major. So basically, you know, in here it's beginning like do this sort of like a threatening feel, and then it goes to that sort of like yeah, we are hell friendlies, we are happy people together sort of fashion. So yeah, that's the idea. At least we shall see how that actually resonates with people. Indeed, I was actually thinking we should actually share this if there is a ready place for He-Man. Let me actually do a sharing a little bit on that side. We shall see, do we get some He-Man people joining learning, of course. It's lovely to have others as well, but it would be lovely to see what He-Man people themselves think of this. Yes, indeed. Let's see how it goes. So He-Man. I think there should be a He-Man place. We shall see. We shall see. He-Man. He-Man. He-Man? No He-Man. No He-Man. What's up with that? Of course there should be He-Man community. Everywhere there's a He-Man people. He-Man pan. Probably, perhaps old folks don't really much use. Yeah, they don't really use the Masters of Universe sort of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, indeed. It's kind of interesting, perhaps people don't use it. Who knows? We shall see. We shall see, are there Masters of Universe people on here? But now let me pause it at least to here. Let's get it on, shall we? Here we go. And let's get back to the song. So we're basically like do 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 do. Do 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 do. Actually, we need to make this, of course, original. I have to think of something clever on here. So it's kind of like a. So it's like a. So it's like a. Sort of fashion. So basically this sort of happy melody part on here. Of course we need happy melody parts in order to make a inspired theme that kind of resembles sort of feeling of He-Man. He-Man indeed. So that's basically in the original piece this is sort of like a happy part. I'm trying to of course take kind of like a similar idea, but I have to think how to actually approach it, because this is very important. Or if I approach it in a wrong way, it doesn't sound good, and then of course if I approach it too closely, I don't want to do that as well. It has to be original piece. It's an original composition, so it has to be. Let me see. And ba 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 ma 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 sort of like so yeah, it's kind of this sort of positive part in between. Of course, I have to still check if this is good or not. It's kind of, it takes the inspiration, but it's not the similar stuff. Because I tell you, of course, I cannot, that's not something people can do. That's something people can do. There's original piece, you cannot really take like too many liberties. But I tell you, I want to make it kind of, people of that series might just look at it and, sort of fashion. We shall see how it goes. We shall see, is there actually feeling like that? So, of course, here in the last part there's going to be a lot of violin involvement. We don't have yet violin in here, but we shall see how it goes. So let's listen to this piece and continue forward with our adventure. And then perhaps that's a bit I think that's better. It's very like this sort of 80s cartoon type of music. That's what, you know, I'm trying to get, you know, this close to. It, of course, it's a different melody. It's totally very different. But of course, you know, the style of these 18 cartoons, at least I try to mimic. It's of course not yet ready, but we shall see how it goes. So it's like. Let's actually see how this is going to be different. So it's kind of like, and then and then it's going to be. And this is going to be a very heroic theme. Of course, warriors are usually very heroic, but of course, you know, I'm going to be making this theme for the great heroic people of the game I'm making. So very much they have to be heroic, at least in the beginning. I'm thinking if somebody will go like very evil type of people, I don't know how that's going to be, but you know, we have to of course see afterwards. Hopefully you're enjoying the theme so far. We have only been doing this around 40 minutes, and the melody structure is almost here. We don't have any other instruments yet, but we're going to be adding those in. And then it's going to be still continue like and then that's going to be the end. And it's going to be it's like and this is going to be a theme. Like I want to make in my game I'm currently making is kind of sense that, you know, you imagine some kind of anime or cartoon and such. When you see a hero in that, you actually get a theme of him playing. The idea is that, you know, depending on your actions, you might actually trigger your own character's main theme playing here. So the idea is that if you have a warrior in your team, you might get like sort of feel on there. But of course, depends on your actions, depends on what you do, depends on what you are able to achieve there. You know, of course. So we are continuing, we are making the music. Let me know how your day is going on the side. What are your favorite cartoons? If you do have those, let me know. So we have done some work, let's continue the work. Oh.
Ollie the repair dude. Used to be Hamtaro.
I remember Hamtaro, man. I remember, you know, that sort of like, you know, it's kind of hamsters, you know. I watched it when I was younger in Finnish TV. It has even Finnish voice acting in the beginning, in the back of the time. Yeah, I didn't grow up with He-Man, but I've watched those series things afterwards, and it's actually this, you know, cartoon sort of style it has, you know, this sort of yay, everybody's happy sort of way. So I do like that. I do like that fashion, indeed. And Hamtaro, it has a catchy music as well. It's like, it's kind of, I have to actually think about it. So it's like, I think that's better. And that's what we have to see. Let me see how it goes. So it's Do, 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 do. Yeah, I suppose it could go like this, we shall see. I personally watched Pokemon, Digimon, Hamtaro, this sort of stuff. I'm of course 2000s kids. That's what I am. 1997 was my journey began. So the thing is, I tell you, I'm not the He-Man original He-Man person, but still, I'm a very, we had this sort of 2000s He-Man cartoon airing when I was young, and then I got into. Then I watched He-Man afterwards of that, the original series. Is very lovely indeed. But now let's get it going. Let's see how this goes. And then do 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 do. 1 minute of music. I think that's going to be the end of the song later on. But now we have made the melody. We have made the basis for this. Also, now next thing is the choir itself, which is going to be a huge part of this piece. I tell you, we have already many things on this piece ready. Let's congratulate ourselves.
Ollie the repair dude.
Hey, what do you think having a merch store despite less than 100k?
Less than 100 Kelvin.
Let me actually tell.
Dude.
Hey, what's up, King? Says International Banking. I cannot say I'm not a fan of kings. I'm not a king. I'm a very much person of a peasantry family.
International Banking.
That's what they do.
What are your thoughts on the race riots in Minnesota?
We actually made a news thing about it on another channel I have in Finnish sort of side. I tell you, it's kind of nasty what's happening in there. It's weird. I don't know what Americans people think of. I'm not an American. I'm from Finland. But it's kind of interesting what's happening there. To your questions, Ollie Repair Dude, I personally have not set up a merch store. I did try that, many years ago when I had that. They sort of like, hey, let's make a merch store. But I think if you're very small, what's your other channel? Oh, it's in YouTube. You just search by name Eluukkanen. It's in Finnish, but I suppose I don't know. Do you know Finnish yourself? But it's I made a new talk about that in Finnish side of things. Indeed, this is not very much topics on that sort of channel. We are more like doing talk about some stuff what we're doing. Indeed, what's your opinion of it, international bankster person? Indeed, very much so. It's a very nasty and dirty business, I tell you. But that's a channel I'm doing on the news side of things. Indeed, very nasty stuff. But I tell you, I personally wouldn't recommend perhaps doing a merch channel right away, because the thing is, you need to get actually people to purchase it. I think the thing is, your channel is about mobile phone fixing, so having mobile phone cases and such, and show them in the content when you do it, like, hey, I have this cool thing that I'm doing. I would actually wait until you get like 1,000 subscribers and followers actively on the channel to really start pushing it, because the first you need to actually entice people to watch stuff you do, and that comes from the content. Content is the king. My content is of course the streams and the music I did. That's how I was able to get to where I am currently. I would personally, if I were you, build that, get the following, and once you have the following, then start pushing the store. And of course that's a good thing that you push something like that. And I think you actually have better than me. You have that sort of like your phone case that you can have like connect to your content. I cannot personally connect anything really at the moment.
International banking
and that like that. That's okay. I just like your videos and wait for
YouTube to put subtitles.
I see. I like it. I appreciate international bankster. What sort of videos have you been liking from what I've been doing? Let me know. But I appreciate it very much. Of course, Finland and USA sort of situation is very different. Currently, we have actually a very peaceful situation, even though same things are happening everywhere. Many places are getting this sort of feel. But now let me actually get some human voices in there. We're currently working on He-Man style of music. Are you familiar, international banking, about He-Man? And of course, it's people might like it or not. I like the theme song of it, this sort of like feel of it, and that's why I wanted to get on this sort of getting and making this sort of feel on it. We shall see. That's going to be the next stuff we're going to be actually working on here is singing. And it's computer singing. We're going to be improving it later on. But yeah, in the beginning it's going to be terrible. So warrior, it's going to be and it's going to be. And yeah, that is not very good instrument, but I'm going to be later on putting real humans there. But of course, let it be like that at least in the beginning.
Banking.
I saw a little bit of He-Man once I was a kid, in the 2000. Not sure it was the original cartoon. Hey, same for me. I think it was not original. They made kind of a remake from it, and I saw that first. But then afterwards, I went and listened to the theme of that whole thing afterwards of that. But that's the thing. There have been multiple iterations. I personally, I did like watching those younger cartoons. Nowadays, of course, a bit less, but still, I like the themes. I do like the song they have, like do 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 do. Indeed, I'm currently making this theme for a game I'm making. Indeed, a game. Indeed, I tell you, games are something that it's going to be a theme for this warrior class.
Workman.
He heard.
Urged.
What do you mean? He heard Urged. I don't sometimes understand you, Hooray Workman. Of course, I appreciate what you say, but sometimes I'm just confused. Thing is, international person, I tell you, hopefully you've enjoyed, some of the stuff we have done. I personally say that it's lovely that in DNF's place people can talk freely. Here we live sort of like, not so...
We
cannot talk about all that stuff.
I don't know,
says Hooray Workman, and that's also good as well. Sometimes you can just say something and, I suppose. I personally, when I do talk, I do want to, perhaps get understood.
I just let her mash.
Well, let her mash is also a way to do things, I suppose. Of course. Now let's continue forward with this feel. Idea is that we're going to be actually putting here vocals. And the lyrics of it's going to be very simple. Like here, we're going to be actually putting them here. Let me actually put the
International
vocals
banking.
Here, like look at
Your
that.
second channel has potential.
Hey, I appreciate it. It has. Actually, in very recent times, it has grown. I should just actually work on it actively. That's the thing. And it's in Finnish side of things. It's there's going to be actually quite a large things. I was thinking of doing this sort of like Finnish Tim Pool stuff on there. Very lazy, I know, but there is not like that in Finland, so I think I could actually take into that sort of place. Yes, usually when you do like, of course, as anyone here knows, and of course, Olli the Repair Dude, when you have a channel type of what you do, when there's no competition and there's demand, then it's very good to go that sort of place, indeed. And of course, I very much hope that, we, in all the countries, we can collaborate and help each other out. It's very nasty that we are just alone in this sort of kind of pit of despair by ourselves. And I think we need to help each other out because of that. This is going to be the kind of what people sing here on this position. Warrior. That's the idea. Dun, 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 warrior, dun, 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 warrior. And then we actually got to probably put it actually in a little bit below. Warrior sort of fashion. Yeah, like this. You can imagine it kind of sounds similar to, there's some similarity, of course, very original theme indeed. Very much original stuff on here on this side. What are you doing yourself, international banking person? Are you personally, and as the name notices, are you personally interested on these sort of topics like that? Let me know. What's your background? Let me know. I'm personally from Finland. I'm a composer. I do composing stuff. That's what we here do in eluukkanen sort of place, indeed. That's what our world is all about, indeed. Indeed, so we shall see how things go here. But now, let's continue the adventure at hand.
International banking. Yeah, cover the news from around the world.
That's the thing. That's the thing. We need to do that sort of fashion. I tell you, problem here in Finland, our news organizations have been, let's just say, one-sided. If we want to be
International
polite,
banking.
and we need to do
And
it
cover
in
the
Finnish.
Finnish news too.
Hey, we need to. That would be something. Probably, unfortunately, the sad thing about this thing is, if I try to do anything like that in English, it wouldn't really get anywhere because of some restrictions, unfortunately. But I tell you, like you notice, right? Now I'm doing here because I've noticed this thing even myself. I need to do this sort of like double language speak in order to not get noticed and this sort of stuff. And sometimes when I talk about my opinions, it's very
Maybe
nasty.
point out the bias. Do it in
We have
Finnish.
to do it in Finnish. We have to do it in Finnish because that's the place we need to do it. That's the thing. That's the thing. But we need to do it. We need to do it. That is very unfortunate. I think it has gone very bad in just recent years, and in Finland especially, it has been, I think, very difficult sort of situation. So we need to change it. We need to change it, man. We need to change it. But hey, international banking. What's your background on stuff on here? Are you familiar with the music style we do here? Indeed, we do music, audio compositions, and some game stuff. Bring the news to your people. If
there is only one place the Finnish people get it from.
Fortunately, only 2 and 3 places, and they are kind of like similar to each other. Very nasty. There's no like just sort of alternative place, at least right now. There are individual creators, but not. I'm hoping to actually expand it kind of big. But we shall see how it goes. It's very much supporting that. If you want to share that around. If you have Finnish friends and such, I would very much appreciate it, because I tell you, sharing and such, like in this stream, very much liking sharing and such, it does help that indeed. But now let's continue forward. And we have similar sort of situation here. And warrior, and then it continues. And I think that's alright. Then we need to copy that away, because it's going to be very minimal sort of singing part, as you noticed. We need that sort of fact. We need that sort of singing feeling there. I tell you. How's the situation going?
Banking.
Yeah, sounds like gold mine.
Yeah,
the
man,
Finnish people are probably
like
hungry. Hungry, yes. They are kind of.
People are probably hungry for news with different viewpoints.
Man, you don't know. I personally have friends from many places, and they say they don't even watch TV anymore. And that's the thing. We need to get that sort of thing out, and I think it's a good position to do that. It's, I think, good position. But of course, we shall see how it goes. It always, of course, depends on. I would hope to gather some people around, but we shall see how it feels like. Because the thing is, we need different opinions. Like I personally say, like if you give criticism on my work I do here, I think that is a very good thing, because otherwise I will be just kind of a similar like everybody else, which is not very good. And now, let me actually put some horns here, different horns, and let's start working on, as we do compositions. I'm a composer mainly. So let's start doing horn section here. Let's start doing some little horn feel.
International banking. Revolt against the modern world. Smash your television.
Actually, I have to tell you, there's one TV channel in Finland that is very good. And it has been actually getting some attraction because it actually has journalistic agenda. It actually does not have any sort of like this sort of nasty thing. So actually, there's one place. And I'm very happy for that, but the situation is that, it's a kind of nasty thing that is happening. Gladly we are getting away from it, indeed. But now, let me know how your thing is going on. Let me focus on this a little bit on here. Let's see. And it's going to be like, actually, let's go back to the very deep of this. And let's go to like... and then it's gonna be and then it's gonna be and then it's gonna be, these are the harmony instrument, and then
international banking. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'll be listening. I'm very good to hear. So, my friend, very much lovely to see people actually being very awake of this sort of things. Are you personally doing what sort of actions for you, this sort of thing that you're talking about? What are your own actions? Let me know. I'm just very curious. So it's like and then it's going to be and then it's going to be and then it's going to be even more down. And it's going to be this is going to be the one instrument from violin. We are currently doing some violin stuff in here. Indeed. We need to help each other out. I'm actually thinking of, I possibly should be doing some Finland plays things on D-Live. D-Live is actually a pretty lovely platform you're currently talking from. I should actually put some sharing thing on that. I think even could be talking openly in that place. I think that could be something possible, I think. So yeah, we shall see how it goes. We shall see where it takes us. But now let's continue this one, which of course, He-Man feeling. I've actually changed a little bit on this. So the idea, of course, it's a very simple piece. I'm still going to be improving it later, but it's going to be quite lovely. I tell you, it's going to be quite lovely because it basically gets in this sort of world of adventure, and we need, of course, sometimes some people say that escapism is bad, but I tell you, sometimes escapism is good, especially if it's kind of a lovely escapism. Of course, you have to still be part of the normal world. You cannot be just closed in your house constantly, but still, it's good to be part of the things that are happening around you. Very much so. Indeed, we have that. Now, one thing I just noticed that, yeah, let's continue forward over here. I tell you, let's continue forward. I want to make this song as good as possible, indeed. So it's like...
Javakiai. He-Man.
He-Man! The hi-ya-ya-ya guy, indeed, man, I tell you. This is He-Man style of music, not directly He-Man music, but I tell you, in the style of that. He-Man, of course, had this sort of lovely Ian theme song, which I'm not going to play here because otherwise I would be taken down by everything over here. So yeah, that's nasty, but still, of course, working together, let's continue forward. Are you familiar, Jovaquin of He-Man? He-Man. You might see similar things, of course. This is an original song, as I said. Very original song, very different.
Unknown, of course, similar. Person. Moyo, I'm banking / used underwear.
Ah, you are the used underwear person. You have many different names, it seems. Welcome here, unknown person, to the land of... Yo-boob, indeed, yo-boob. Hello there, how are you doing? Oh, welcome here. Yes, we are doing some He-Man stuff, indeed. How are you? Life is going? I personally have to tell you, I'm very happy.
I haven't watched the show, but I've seen the meme.
It's kind of meme, man. I want to have that sort of same meme-ish feeling on here, indeed. It's going to be this sort of, Saturday cartoon feel when we go forward. Let's actually listen to what we currently have already here in works. It's very limited yet, but we're going to be, of course, working more on it when we go forward. Stay tuned. And that is the background over here. Of course, we're going to be adding still more stuff on there. A violin is one. We're actually going to be working on the violin stuff. Yeah, there's some lovely memes on this. I don't personally want to go too much on the memes. You can see them yourself. But there's a lot of them. And I'm actually working on some of the violin stuff. It's kind of like. That's going to be the and then that's the idea. Yeah, very different, very different. But you can see similarities. I tell you, this is an original piece. I want to stay because you know I of course stealing is bad. I'm not going to steal. That's the thing. Inspiration is good to take from, and that's very much something you can do. There's no problem in that if you take inspiration. So now let's work on this. Let me actually add another instrument of horn in this very piece. How's your day, Java King, going? Have you been working on stuff? You should make videos on your second channel and stream on here. You can see your videos channel.
I can see your second channel growing.
You mean about the eluukkanen? Yeah, it actually has grown just like 30 subscribers just a few days. This is a very different channel. It's of course a very different channel. So I'm doing here music stuff. I'm doing all sort of stuff. I stream every day on here under where unknown person. So I do all sorts of stuff over here. Also, Danger Makin, of course, you know, you should, you know, I don't know what you should do depending. But I want to kind of keep this separated. It's not very. You know, world topic sort of plays on this channel. It's kind of very different, of course, that's, you know, how it works. I think I want to keep them separated. I want to make some streams later on the other channel later on, but it's going to still take some time. Now, thing is though, yes, possibly in D-Live I could do some streams on the second channel, but that we shall see how that goes. Now, one thing I want to see is that we actually want to have another horn instrument, and it's going to actually be kind of a bassoon. I think that could actually work on its favor. Contrabassoon, here we go. And let's get it on. I tell you, many newer generation might have not watched this series of course, He-Man, but of course, there's some good, there's some feel on there. But now let me actually put on here this melody. We need many sort of melody instruments playing this theme, because I want to get it on people's heads, indeed. Yeah, that's the feel we get on there.
Javaki, I'm all goods. Just starting up After Effects after I made the background repeat.
I'm good. Just starting After Effects. Oh, you're working some After Effects. Are very good. We have some creative people over here watching this place. I tell you, After Effects is something I personally don't own it, because you know you have to pay for monthly for them. I personally would like just one-time purchase it, but you know you have to pay monthly for them, which I'm not very happy about. That sort of renting of such.
Unknown person.
Yes, but keep making videos like 15 minutes videos in second channel. Long streams can be daunting.
Long streams can be daunting.
Only when I get you know, around 1,000 people follow there, I will do some streams, and I will do like around 20-minute streams, and 20-minute streams about news. That's the idea, you know, like just like looking at all of the news stuff in there, like in one stream. That would be actually something interesting, because there's a lot of news happening. I cannot focus on, like, even though I do stuff there every day, I cannot focus on every sort of topic. Indeed, that's the thing. So we still need to work on that, because that is not yet too energized. Just to be. Let me still have another horn play that very thing, because we need all the horns to get the feeling there. I tell you, because it has to have this sort of oh yeah. Oh yeah, let's have a tuba in there. Actually, that would make it lovely. Let me actually put these ones off. like this. If you know tuba, it's a very deep instrument. So good luck for your After Effects work, whatever that currently is. I personally don't know too much of After Effects things. I do know can make actually pretty lovely looking stuff, animation and such with that. But of course it takes a lot of work, like everything like we're doing here on this theme very much. Actually, we could actually do in this instead of like and it's like like this. I think it would work. It could make a lovely little feel on there. That's hard. Cover on topic, one video and different one in next. Copy
different one in the next.
Yeah.
Copy Tim Pool, lol.
Finish Tim Pool, let's go. Yeah. We shall see how that goes. People have been kind of laughing at Finish Tim Pool. What are you doing? But that's there's nothing like that in Finland, so we're gonna be making that happen. That's what we're gonna be doing. And yeah, we need more of that sort of, I personally want to grow it actually more. I have some bad plans on it. I'm not going to still give those out, but I have some plans on it which actually can work pretty nicely. We shall see how this goes. Of course, it's up to negotiations. Actually, we could have these ones later on. I kind of, they kind of focus, they kind of take too much on the focus, kind of. Yeah, we shall see how it goes. But see what we're planning this sort of stuff. We need, of course, drums. We need a timpani, which of course is a very big drum instrument. Of course, if you are familiar with timpani, it's kind of this big drum. We of course need that. And then let's have some other percussions here as well. Indeed, as you can see on the screen, timpani is here. Let's actually boom, 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 and actually start with like that. Like that sort of dun 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 dun. Boom. Let's do it. Let's start working on this in a very big fashion.
Unknown person.
Yeah, do more, man. Finland needs more genuine
Finland
things.
Needs more genuine viewpoints instead of mainstream media trash.
Some people still watch it, but I cannot say I do. I have to unfortunately say I cannot say I do watch that.
Tim Pool is a guy that took both the blue pill and the red pill at the same time.
I think we need, this sort of balanced the news sort of cycle. Of course, I like looking at both, viewpoints, but I think what news has kind of lost from itself. I'm not a journalist person, but like Jovakin, I think they have news people have kind of become this sort of tabloid news. I personally don't want to read tabloid news. I want to just get some information, and I want to personally do that when I do that on my own sort of fashion. But we shall see how that functions. It's of course up to, it depends. Currently we have had some attractions. I've got some groups around it and such, outside of course, YouTubes and such, so we shall see how that goes. But currently I'm very positively happy on how it's going, and I think it's a very empty place. There's nothing there. There are some people in Finnish to place, but it's very limited. It's very limited what they do, and it's very this sort of like they don't know all of the tricks there. I know some of the tricks. I've done this sort of channel stuff on so many years. I know how to do stuff. Like look at this channel here, eluukkanen. It's music channel. I've been able to actually do it pretty nicely, considering that I'm doing very niche thing. Indeed, I should be actually, if I've just have done some small things, I should have like a very small plays. But I've been doing actually pretty lovely. So it makes it. That's the feel we are having here. Boom 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 boom. Is it like boom 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 boom, like doom doom? So feel we shall see. So some drums here. Doom doom doom. Here we go. Doom 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 doom. I don't know is it good or not, but we shall see how it goes. Actually, I kind of like that, how that sounds. Doesn't it sound kind of like, you know, this sort of inspiration feel? Doesn't it sound like that? Yeah. There's kind of that sort of feeling in there, isn't it? Yeah. But, yeah, I tell you, you know, do you yourself, Jovakin, and unknown person, look at Team Pool?
Sounds good.
I think it should actually start to sound something lovely, yeah. What sort of news places you personally watch? I personally... I watch many places. I look at the news and read articles and such, and usually it's good. You cannot really look at just one place and, you know, see all the information. You have to look at so many places. Yes, indeed. Or do you read news at all? And of course, some people, my friends, are like, you know, news are so sad. Always some sad news, but you know, that's how life, I think, works. You have to have sad stuff in order to have some happy stuff in between. That's how it works, indeed. Let's go.
Unknown person. Nice man, your videos on the second channel are growing for being Finnish.
Yeah, indeed, we are doing that very much so, and of course, not just because of that, I'm actually sharing them a ton in many places. That's how you have to really do this. If anyone here is watching and wants to build their own channel, you have to share outside of this place. Otherwise, you're never going to really get attraction. And of course, not just spam to people. I've actually built some groups around Finnish news, and I'm invited. We have around 90 people there right now. Of course, still need to invite more people in. But all about just fair news. And actually, other people can post their stuff as well. So it's kind of, you know, this sort of circle of people actually... not just sharing news around themselves, and I think that's what we need. And actually, let me just put it in like... In this part, we're actually going to be like... Dum 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 bum bum sort of feel. Sort of feel. Yes, we're going to be adding here some kind of like a drum feel. I think it actually sounds pretty lovely, of course, you know, said by myself, but gladly you unknown person likes it as well. What sort of news places you watch? Let me know. Let me know. And then and then we go to, and then the finalist is going to be this sort of very big explosive thing on here.
Javaki, I find independent YouTubers like Tim Pool much more reliable.
I have to admit.
I watch other channels with similar content too, of course.
Of course, I have to admit, Jomakin, that's what we need to do in this modern time frame. It's interesting that people in their in their own rooms, they can make much more reliable news. I follow many people from all of the spectrum, and I tell you, that's what we need to do. Unfortunately, you know, we cannot rely on this big company.
Unknown person. I watch Vincent James, Tim Pool sticks hexahammer.
I'm familiar with Vincent James as well. There was this other... Actually, let me try to find his name. I want to actually recommend him to you as well. Actually, I like that person very much.
Hey, unknown person and Javaki.
Hey, unknown. Hello, Oli Repedu. What sort of news do you watch yourself, or do you watch news at all? Of course, not all people do, but that sort of thing. Let me play this in the background while I'm trying to find the channel I want to actually very much say to you.
The news is controlled.
Unfortunately, in some cases, and I have to say, it's not very good, but you know, we have to, of course, there are some independent great stuff on here. Let me actually try to find this one that I liked. Of course, you know, he has his own... I don't agree with all of his politics, sort of such and such, but I do have to say, like, this person is actually very, very good stuff. Like, he actually does some interesting content on what is happening and very freely talks and stuff. I recommend to check that. Yo, what's up, man? Yo, indeed. I recommend checking this channel out. I personally don't agree with everything, but very interesting channel, you know, and yeah, I recommend checking it out right away, because, you know, he's one of those Team Pool sort of personalities, you know, watching and doing some news online and that sort of stuff. Very interesting, very much so. Hopefully you enjoy his stuff. Now, let's see how we go forward with this.
Good and bad.
Very good. Very good.
Person. Oh yay, I am sub to him.
What's happened with that? What happened with that? Oh yeah, I'm sub to me. Oh, very good. interesting person very much. I don't agree with all of that, and that's actually good. You don't need to agree with people. You don't need to agree with me. You don't need to agree with anyone. We just have to, just kind of like see what's truth, and from many different positions. Like if you have many different witnesses, you can actually make a picture of what is happening in the scene. That's how criminality investigations work, and that's why we have to work as well. Actually, we need to. Let's make this a longer one. Yeah, let's make it a little bit longer. I want the first note to be heard in there.
Unknown person. Well, I hope you get better, Ollie.
Actually, I'm gonna be. I forgot. I just made a mistake, which is a very nasty thing. Yeah, I just forgot to say. Sorry about that, Ollie. I forgot to say to you that hopefully everything is going much better sooner or later. I'll tell you, it's very nasty to hear that's the case. But nasty thing. I very much, if you want, Ollie does this sort of repairing channel himself. I recommend you check him out if you are interested on getting your mobile phone fixed. He actually does that sort of work, which is very, I have to tell you, like very big props from him. He's of course beginning of his channel, but I do think if he works on his content and such, especially, it's going to be actually very big, because these sort of phone repairing channels, if you do phone repairing streams, I'm going to be there. I tell you, I'm going to be there. Very much so. Very much so. Seeing how the mobile phones are being fixed and made together. Oh yeah. One actually thing I'm gonna be fixing here is it's like a ding, 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 ding. Like look at it in here. And then let's make it a little bit slower, so it has this sort of tension. Tension, ding, 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 da, ding, 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 ding. Let me actually put it like this, much better, like this. So we are currently building tension, and then we're going to go to the next one, which is going to be the hardest one. This is 1 minute of music. We have actually worked on this some time, I tell you. How is your unknown persons of course you mentioned what you watch. I personally think this is the quickest way to get some news. I even watch some people that that are this sort of nasty people, said by the respected sources people, and tell you have to watch them sometimes, you have to get their viewpoints, you have to understand them, you cannot just get around them, indeed. But of course we are talking about very different topics that of He-Man. I actually I've watched few episodes of first He-Man, but I kind of remember the second He-Man much more. The Skeletor. This has this very weird
Unknown person.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
That's what we have to have. Indeed, unknown person. Indeed. Let's go forward and see where this takes us. And let's take all of this stuff here with them as well. We need to have that in here. Look at that. Look at that. Also, let's have the violin there as well. So it's like bum 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 bum, it's like bum 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 bum. It's like bum 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 bum. Like then do 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 do. Yeah, we're doing some violin stuff, and yes, I'm humming. Yes, I cannot help it because it's kind of easier to focus. Of course, singing is normally when I do composition, I do not hum too much like this sort of crazy person in front of camera, like I'm doing right now. This sort of impression, but it helps some stuff, especially when you talk with the people on the stream at the same time. We're currently talking about what's happening in the world, sort of fashion. I'm actually interested to see what's happening, Of course, America stuff is very nasty. I'm very sorry to that is actually happening. what are your own thoughts on it yourself, an old person? Or like, is it overblown, or is it like, there's a different many viewpoints on it. I tell you, I'm following it very closely, as I did for the second channel I just shared you, indeed. Is it overblown, or is it... Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, we got it going, but now the next thing is going to be important, kind of a change. I actually like this. It's actually getting where I want it to be. Very happy. This sort of like boom, boom, boom. Oh yeah, manly, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's what we need. This is going to be for a game I'm creating, and it is for this sort of class of like warrior who's like very manly. The sort of like, oh yeah. We fight the wars, and like he's not very intelligent sort of character, in the game, at least in the beginning, of course, can develop him forward, but he's more like a physical, heroic sort of character. We're going to go forward and do some stuff, sort of fashion. And I tell you, that sort of, it needs this sort of team like in here. It needs this sort of like, oh yeah, heroics, and it's like, bam, 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 bam.
Unknown person. I think the USA will fall apart, or it will keep going like a wounded animal. The USA is like the Roman Empire.
Unfortunately, that's what I see. There can be some major turnovers, but I think every country will fall at some point. Like, I think it's very good to say that, Roman Empire style, but I think, USA's fall is not going to be in my lifetime, I think. Depends, of course, on the current situation, how it's going to resolve itself. I think US is going to still, go forward. The idea is that, Roman Empire, it first had democracy, kind of, democracy, and then it turned into empire, led by usually, these sort of general people, generals. Start leading in the place. I'm thinking that it's going to go kind of similarly to American place, if they are not doing something very crucial to stop it. Like, similar things can happen in any country. Like in Finland, we have kind of lost our way, and it can happen even in here if we are not careful enough. So it's like. Let me see how this goes. It might be bad, but we shall see how it goes. Idea is that it goes like yes, very good. And then
unknown person.
Sort of like that. If
NATO goes down, Finland will fall to Russia.
We are not actually in NATO, I tell you, my friend. We are not in that sort of stuff. Yes, we are not. And we can defend ourselves, I tell you that much. Russia doesn't really have the strength to take us. Imagine, Ukraine, I have to tell you, this is like what I think, but, people think differently, but think about this. Ukraine, that was like this, it had like dissolved army, everything was like in crappy condition, and even that point, Russia could not really invade it in complete manner. It could not do that. And it's the same in Finland. Like, if we look at the military situation, how it really is, we have more troops on the border than on the Russian side. They have right away. If they start to gather some forces, we have actually quite a huge leap that we can actually do some nasty stuff in there. And that's the thing. And we are not going to have that sort of situation.
Watch the video What If We Collapse Like Rome by Fire of Learning.
Let me actually put that on on here. It's very interesting what you mentioned on here. Let me actually put it on here. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So we are doing some stuff over here on this sort of stuff. Let's listen how this works. So it's like. Da 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 da. And then it's going to. And then. How do you do it? Like.
Unknown person. That's incorrect. It's Ukraine vs Russian rebels. The official Russian military isn't involved.
Well, kinda yes, kinda no. At the same time, like in modern times, you cannot really go to wars. The thing is, Ukraine didn't have really a military in a sense, and yet they could not really invade because, of course, the world was currently watching very much. Of course, they did take some land from the Ukraine. What was the peninsula there? But I tell you. If you talk about Finland on that sort of state, no, that's not going to happen because Russia, like every other big nation currently, is very unstable. It has many unstable things. They are not talking about openly, I tell you, unfortunately, but it's very unstable. I tell you, that's at least my opinion looking at the situation. There's not enough money that they could actually do that. They have to. They cannot really focus on that. They cannot do a quick invasion quick enough in order to take this place without actually having a huge impact on themselves. That just cannot happen, my friend. And Finland is not undefended. We have actually pretty good military force, actually pretty modern one as well. And we have all these sort of military drills with people as well, other countries and such. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, I tell you. We are defended, but now let's get forward. We shall see how this goes.
Unknown person. If Russia was to invade Ukraine in full force, Ukraine would fall. Ukraine is really flat. The geography of Ukraine and Poland are good for its enemies.
It would be bloody, I tell you, but it cannot. Like, of course. This is not, of course, depends. If we would live in sort of vacuum of not having other countries around us, of course, Russia could be doing some nasty things. But I tell you, of course, there's all the politics as well. Russia cannot. It's just like, it cannot do that. It can, like, help its allies. There's so many other places going on right now. It cannot, like, take other things. It just, old Russian Empire fall because it actually took too much of the military action in the First World War. So it can happen. If you grasp your hand too far, it can actually destroy yourself. So that's what happened in the past, and that can very much possibly happen if they spread themselves too many places, indeed. Also, we have actually very friendly relations with the Russian population in a sense. Like, I'm not sure are they like what would be the reason to really do that sort of stuff from them. Of course, leadership countries, they always find a reason, but it's going to be it's not going to work. I tell you, it's not going to work. Let's go forward and listen. This, of course, very different from what we're currently talking about here. But I tell you, let's go and see where these email stuff goes forward. Indeed, hopefully enjoying the theme. It's actually developing really well, of course. And we're talking about outside of the topic things. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Yeah, actually, and like that, and then. I like that. So we are currently making the theme, kind of, that's what we're doing here. Of course, Poland, and as you say, Ukraine, it could be possible to take, in their kind of geographical, kind of how they are built. Finland is very difficult. If you look at Finnish border from the maps, it's quite hard terrain to across from the eastern side of places. It's actually very difficult, and I tell you, there's only few main roads, and that can be easily kind of cut off
Unknown
if we need.
person. I think the media lies a lot of Russia. From what I've seen, the bloggers that have gone to Russia, the Russian people like their leaders. When they have one protest, media in the West blows it up.
I think it's a very complex issue. I think, you know, some of the things you say are very right, but at the same time, some of them things, I think they are very good in influencing the media. And of course, Russia, I have to tell you, it has been used in Western media as a scapegoat. I don't really like that. I think, you know, it shouldn't be done. We should look at these things realistically. At the same time, we have to really see that, you know, their ambitions when it comes to dominance, it is like any other big country, and they have very big spying network, influencing network, and they affect to many places, and they are like, unlike Chinese, they are very good at it. I tell you, they can affect to even know you not knowing them. They are very good at that.
Unknown
they are
person.
very good in that.
It's okay to disagree with me. I'm not going to hate you for it.
No worries, no worries. And I have to tell you, disagreeing is actually a very good thing. I personally tell you, I think I agree with you in partial ways. Of course, it's not all about what they say in media about the place, but I tell you, I personally visited the place. I personally have investigated the place, you know, how the Russians themselves in their Russian newspaper, I can even speak a little bit Russian myself, you know, по-русски, yeah. Русский язык. I can, you know, я люблю русский язык. You know, that's I can talk a little bit and look at what they mean. And, you know, that's the situation is very different.
Here in the USA, a lot professors have been arrested for having
That's actually very
connections
interesting
to
sort
China.
of stuff. There's a big shadow war happening, indeed. Very interesting sort of fashion. Yeah, very interesting fashion indeed. What do you think yourself on that? Because, yeah, you know, that big nations always try to influence places. That's what they do. There's no this sort of, like, even in Finland, you know, we have stuff like that. The thing is, every nation, you know, has good stuff and bad stuff. That's we have to look at them very openly, and every nation has that. And that's, you know, but of course, some nations have. I suppose more freer than others and lovelier, you know, with the, you know, Finland, I would say it's a very lovely place. Of course, like, I'm kind of I'm from Finland myself, so I'm kind of limited on my view, but still, very much so. Now we are talking about very off-topic things, but still, we're still going to be working on this very piece. The next part is, of course, going to be this sort of like heroic part. We shall see how it goes. Now we are talking about very off-topic things.
Unknown person. Yes, I think China is influencing our colleges and government. Lots of dumb people at my college like communism. It's so weird. Javakiai. If there's ever gonna be a WW3, it'll be the US vs China. The CCP are dodgy ass.
Yeah, it has similarities on the theme, but hey, yeah, very interesting sort of what you said, unknown person. China influencing. I think China is actually very bad when it comes to influencing, because it's so clear. When other nation that is very unclear does this sort of influencing, it actually it's like very clever. Like let me tell you what I think of the Russian like way they do it. Of course, like what any kind of nation wants to do, they do not lie. I think many times. They actually focus on many true things, but instead of like lying, they actually focus on the things that I think are useful for, you know, kind of helps them in a way put stuff forward. Especially, I've actually followed a few of these places, you know, bloggers, YouTubers that are very pro-Russian, and it's interesting how they put everything on this sort of fashion. That, you know, they post many truthful things about things that Western places don't put like truthful things about. That's why many people like very appreciate these bloggers and such, and I appreciate them as well because of that. At the same time, they leave possibly some things out that could possibly make some bad image on themselves. They are very clever on that. I think China is not very clever on that sort of fact. They are very, actually, as you said, lots of dumb people. I tell you, they are very dumb on their sort of influencing, because it's very clear. Everybody can see, hey, that's propaganda. Everybody can see that. We have had that similar effect, but I tell you, we have lived near the communist sort of stuff. We have had this sort of communist movement in so long time after the Second World War. We have still like we have this sort of like antidote against it, but I don't know if does your place have that. If there's going to be World War III, it's going to be US versus China. That Joaquin says CCP is very dodgy. Yeah. Probably something like that. We shall see how it's going to happen. But currently, it is two emerging world powers and one, of course, a current world power competing against each other. We shall see how that is going to go. So now we're going to be working on the drums. It's like boom, 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 boom. We're going to be putting just like this sort of stuff over here. And also the next stuff we're going to be putting in. Of course, let me know if you disagree. I'm very much open for disagreeing. And let me actually see how this actually goes. So basically in this sort of, we have this sort of happy thing. So like... so it's like we have to actually... the violin is going to be like... so we're gonna be back like that's basically how I'm going to be doing the violin parts on here, indeed. Of course, people can disagree on this sort of fact. I personally have been looking into this. You know, please let me know on what sort of mistakes I have. You know, if you have ideas on, you know, what sort of things I think I have wrong ideas on, because otherwise I cannot fix my own ideas on that. I personally am basing on my current knowledge on the ways I've seen things, and of course, if people have a good arguments, I'm very much willing to change my opinions on many things. That's how things should be going, indeed, indeed. Now, let's listen to some He-Man style of stuff, indeed. I think the golden age of USA was in the 60s, 70s, and kind of 80s it still had that, but then afterwards it started like to go a little bit darker. There's many things you could say what happened to it, but you know, He-Man is this sort of like a image of it. Of, you know, like this sort of like a American good time sort of fashion. You know, nobody could defeat America sort of fashion, yeah. Very much so. Oh yeah.
Unknown person. Yeah. I understand what you are saying. Mr. Holders. He-Man.
I tell you, Mr. Walrus, welcome! Yeah, we are doing some He-Man inspired music. Of course, original music, but very inspired by the series that is known for its being He-Man, indeed. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Let me know, Mr. Walrus. We are also talking about so lovely topics, just about, you know, what is happening in the world. Everybody gets very excited about that, indeed. At least me, I do. I don't know about all. But what do you, unknown person, I understand what you're saying, yeah. Every countries, they do what they do in order to, like, affect the world. Like in Finland, we have our own ways now how we affect the world, of course,
Mr.
very
Holris.
own.
I am doing fine.
Hey, very good, Mr. Wallace. Very good to hear, Mr. Walrus. Are you familiar with He-Man? Because today we're making a He-Man song. Did that sound like He-Man? Let me actually know. Let me know your feedback. Ba, ba, and this ba, 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 this sort of fashion. Here we go. And yeah, this is the sort of like happy part. If you listen He-Man stuff, is of course this is not copy anything like that. It is very much its own thing. But I'm structuring this to have this sort of A B, and the B part is very much sort of like yay sort of fashion. As you can see, it's going to be part of a game I'm making right now. This sort of character of warrior indeed, and in some story circumstances, the theme of this character is going to be played indeed, going to be played here on the screen, as you can see. Boom, 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 boom.
Unknown person. See your bros, I have to sleep now, but I will keep the stream on. The music is good and relaxing.
Oh yeah! Warrior. Hey, it was a pleasure having you here, unknown person. Thank you for being here, and yeah, sleep well. Of course, it's America, it must be very late. So good night for you, man. Thanks for being here. Did you hopefully you enjoyed the music as we are doing? Of course, it's still in works. Let's make this work. So let's make this one in like fifths, like actually above. Yeah. The thing is, like here, this song actually, I have to tell you, and sometimes I do this music, I hate it, and this time I actually like what we're doing here. Actually, I like what we're doing over here. I like what we're doing. I think this works indeed. Let's see how this works here in the happy part. Actually, one thing I want to change, like. And then so basically it goes to like F, C, like that sort of fashion. So if you think about the chords themselves, it's like it progresses like this sort of like and then ba ba ba. Basically like that it works, and it actually very lovely indeed. Let's see how it works. The idea is that also so basically this goes like sort of like that. Let's see how the chords progress in this He-Man inspired song. Oh yeah. And then it goes back to the action. Oh boy, I like this one. I like this. How is it going? Oh boy. You know, I might be the only one who's currently thinking like this, but I tell you, I'm currently enjoying this sort of creation of this. I like this very much. So I'm gonna be actually making ba 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 this sort of sound. It's going to be ba 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 like this. So it's ba 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 ba, and then it's gonna ba 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 ba. This sort of fashion. So we go on this note on here. This is the final notes, people. We are getting to the end of this lovely composition that is very much He-Man. Anyone familiar with the He-Man lore? I'm not really sure myself, to be honest. We are getting to the end of like that. And of course we need the drums here. Drums actively working with us. And let's take the timpani here, and we're going to be making a very big timpani ending here. It's like boom boom. It's like doom 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 doom, and then oh, actually I have an idea. Let's make this so we're going to be actually having a trill on it. Basically trill is kind of a way to make timpani very this sort of grand. Oh boy, look at that. Just look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh boy, and it sounds very lovely. It's like a boom 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 sort of fashion, and then doom doom, and then boom 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 boom. Basically, let me actually make it like a doom, or actually a smaller note, a bigger note. Doom doom, very lovely. Doom 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 doom. Here we go. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, man. But this time, of course, Warrior is going to be the name of the song. A warrior theme, very much inspired, of course, from the lovely world of He-Man, indeed. Let's go forward. Let's see how this goes. Wish us luck. Very much inspired, of course, from the lovely world Actually, let me make it a little bit quieter on here. But yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there, people. Some of the feel of the music is right there on its alley. It's getting there, I tell you. So let me take this off. It's actually, let's put it this instead. Let me take the trill away.
The crystal clear.
I'm back! Hello there! Hey, let me actually show the progress. Let me still play this one time to you. This thing that we have made. Let me know what your thoughts are about it. I'm back! Hello there! Hey, let me actually show the progress. Oh yeah. I get hype from this, yeah. One thing I'm still going to be making is the ending part. What are your thoughts on that, Crystal Clear? Welcome back. Hopefully you enjoyed your school time. We are getting this theme finished. And then we actually make him also like... sort of like that. We're going to be putting there many different fields on it. So we actually...
The Crystal Clear.
Yeah, it sounds really good.
Smiley, wow,
hey, I'm very happy.
Good.
I'm happy.
First
very
it
happy.
was nothing, but no, it is so far ahead.
Now it is something. That's what we're doing. That's what composing streams is about. It sounds really...
Stream.io.
Thank you, Joaquin. Thank you, Crystal Clear. And we got a trophy
you
even.
Received 100 messages today with Restream chat.
I tell you, man. Wow, this is a good. It first was nothing and now it's ahead. I tell you, that's what this whole thing about. Composing streams. We make music from nothing. That's how composition works. Have you ever seen how composers do their work? I'm not sure, but I tell you, this is how it happens. This is how we do it. And let's still make the epic final thing on here, I tell you. Let's still make this epic on this side of things. Oh yeah. And I tell you, I've been enjoying the creation. I've actually get excited from this as well. Oh boy, very happy indeed. Happy person. This is actually going to be played across the clay. If I didn't mention to you in my game that I'm making of this warrior character that is going to have that as a kind of like a main theme for himself. Depending on what kind of character you choose, it has a different sort of musical theme for itself. So this is going to be warrior's theme. Warrior. Let's see how it goes. And then actually let me go boom, boom. Let me still then make the drums really epic sounding. Yes, doom, 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 doom. There we go, and then it ends. Then it all ends. The end is near, as they say. And so far, so good. I tell you, thank you for being part of this creation here. How was your studies going, Crystal Clear, and also Joaquin? Hopefully, your After Effects work has been going well as well.
The Crystal Clear.
Crystal Clear.
I haven't seen any composer showing their work. And I don't know what a composer is.
Composer.
And I think you told me about Final Fallacy in Discord.
Indeed. Check out that if you want to know more. I'm going to be actually making a better page on it. It was good for me. Very good, very good. That's how studies should be going. Composer, music composer, basically person who is making music like I do. And this is what music composers do. It takes a bit to set up After Effects.
To set up for After Effects.
Yeah, I can get that. I am not good at After Effects at all, so I have to really respect on what you do, Joaquin, what you do on your work, on your project. I saw some pictures you shared in eluukkanen. I actually checked those out. Very true, very true. Now, let me still listen to the ending stuff, and then we are ready to go. Boom, 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 like that. Very good, and it is 1 minute and 5 seconds of music. Very good. I was thinking, should we have any other instruments in here? Actually, I was thinking of violin. And then this is going to be the final what it says here. Here we go. Here we go. So you have many different layers. The violin layer is of course very interesting one of its own. So it's kind of like like that. Let's go and see how the ending works. Oh yeah.
The Crystal Clear. When I said I haven't seen any composer before, You were dancing and being happy. The crystal clear. Because you're happy.
I'm very happy to be the first composer, of course, that you have perhaps seen, and I tell you also I'm very happy on the composition. I'm just getting so excited on that this actually is very good. Yeah, this is good. Yes, of course, not the I'm not like a I'm very happy that you haven't seen composers. I'm not like celebrating that sort of fact. No, I'm very happy that I might be the possible one of the composers first that actually shows their work and showing a work that is actually pretty lovely. Yes, let's listen this He-Man inspired original song. Of course, original song, not copy, an original piece, but you can see the inspiration from the piece indeed, and it is a very different from it, I tell you. Hopefully you enjoy it. Let's listen and see how does it sound. We just made it on under 2 hours, I think. Yeah, under 2 hours. It's 59 minutes and 1 hour. Very good. Under 2 hours. Very good. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, under 2 hours. Yeah. Yay! We did that! That is a warrior theme for Final Fantasy, created here with you live on this Friday eluukkanen show. Let me save it. Warrior. Here we go. Very good. Very good, even so I say so myself. I do like this piece. I was thinking of making something very warrior-like, and this feels excellent. This is very good. Very good indeed. 1 minute of music, 1 minute of feel. Hopefully you enjoyed crystal clear and Jovakin, this piece that we made. Hopefully you enjoyed the creation. Now it is time to say, like in old cartoons in the end of them, goodbye and see you next time on eluukkanen show. What you shall see, I'm not sure. I'm thinking of actually trying Neo 2 tomorrow. Yes, Neo 2, that game that's very its own thing. We shall try that out indeed. My brother bought it, so of course I'm going to be testing it out and seeing how it goes. Neo 2, let's go. Of course, hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully we're going to be seeing you next day. I think you are the most subscribed Mardek account
in YouTube.
Hey, that is very good, crystal clear. Indeed, some Mardek stuff. Actually, I'm hoping to release one of the Mardek pieces today. Hopefully you're going to be waiting for that. The thing is, yeah, we need to do Mardek stuff as well, and others. Bye, Mardek! And yes, Mardek is what you can actually check out eluukkanen Mardek. You're going to see what's that about. If you want to see Jovakin, yes, I've done some Mardek remastered. That's a kind of a lovely game that is called Mardek. But hey, crystal clear and others, thanks for joining. Hopefully we're going to be seeing you tomorrow. Let's see you there, and whoever you are, let's just say warrior. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Whoa. I have the power.
What time tomorrow?
Same time as today. 12 o'clock in Finnish time. I think it's like 10 a.m. Central Time of London, indeed. So yes, indeed. Tomorrow, 12 a.m. Finnish time, And of course, 10 a.m. I think London time. Let's see you then, wherever you are, whoever you are. See you later.